Yo guys, it's CFB, welcome back to a brand new video. Hope you're all doing well. We've actually got quite a bit of news to go through for the last couple of days. But before we get into the news, obviously, like I say all the time at the start of the video, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a video. Also, first link in the description is my second channel, so if you're into gaming, preferably Call of Duty, go and check it out. And yeah, we've got quite a lot of bit of news today. Quite a lot of bit of news. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. We've got quite a lot of news to get into today. Revolving around the manager situation still. Nothing on Potter. Another name. To do with a striker and also a Brazilian superstar. So before we get into, well, actually no, let's get straight into news. I've already done that whole like and subscribe thing. So let's start off with the least hyped one up, but this is a pretty big news. So this is from Fabrizio Romano. He has said Chelsea are among the clubs eyeing up a move for Brighton wonder kid Evan Ferguson, who, if I'm not mistaken, the country he plays for is Ireland. I'm pretty sure Ireland. I'll do a little bit of research on him now. I've seen him play, and he's actually a really, really good striker, and I know he's quite young as well. So, Evan Ferguson. Yeah, he plays for Brighton. He is. It doesn't even come up with his. Oh, he's 18. He's 18. Stats this season. You don't base everything off stats, I know this, but I'm just telling you guys. He's played 10 games for Brighton this year in the Premier League, scored 3 goals and got 2 assists. In the EFL Cup, he's played 2 matches, got 1 goal, 1 assist. The times I've seen him, I think he scored against us, if I'm not mistaken, at the start of the season, or maybe it was last season, I'm not sure, but I think he scored against us. He looks like a really, really good player. He looks like he's got a similar type of build and stature to like Harry Kane, except from his link-up play is not as good as Harry Kane. His finishing isn't as good as Harry Kane. We all know this, but he's got similarities in that way to him. Do you know what I mean? He's a tall, strong striker. I reckon he's going to be big for the Premier League. Brighton will demand a lot of money off him though. Brighton will demand about 40 to 60 million, I reckon. Or it might be about 45 million plus. Because he's young. He's a clinical striker for his age. You know, it's going to be very, very hard to get him if we were to go in for him. There's a numerous amount of clubs still after him as well. I think Man United would be in for him. That's the only proper name I've heard, Man United. But I still want us to go for Victor Osimhen, obviously. I'd still rather us go for Victor Osimhen or Tony over Ferguson. But do you know what? Ferguson would be up there, you know, for me. From what I've seen, he's a good player. He's a good player. He is really a good player. He's burst onto the scene, as Michael Richards would say. So the next bit of news is from Agent D. 3 bits of our news is from the Agent D, actually. He gets quite a lot of his stuff right now. And this is to do with a Brazilian winger who can play up top. So, Chelsea have not given up on landing Brazilian striker Victor Roque, despite Barca leading race. It's getting hot, and Chelsea are pushing hard. From what I heard a couple of months back about Victor Roque, I think that's how you say his name as well, Victor Roque, I don't know. But apparently, his dream destination is Barcelona. Now, from what I've read recently, apparently Barcelona aren't allowed to pay for anybody due to their financial situation. You know what I mean? Broke-alona. You know what I'm saying? And they're only allowed to sign players on a free. Obviously, he's not going to be on a free. It's going to cost like over 15, 20 million, I'm guessing. I don't know if that's 100% true, by the way. Don't quote me on that. But that's just from what I've heard. So if that's the case, surely that's just going to leave us in the race for him. Because Real Madrid ain't going to go for him. They've got Endrick, who we was after, and we was close to signing, but they took him. fair play. I can't disagree. It's Real Madrid, isn't it? At the end of the day, like, yeah, it's Real Madrid, biggest club in the world, you know. But Victor Roque's a good. He looks like a good player. He's being labelled as in that small group of 5 of like the next big Brazilian players. We've already got one of them. Andre Santos, he'll be joining us in the summer. Can't wait for that. He looks like a cracking player. There's obviously Endrick, who he was going to get, but, you know, Real Madrid took him. He was probably the biggest one out of the lot. And Victor Roque is one of them that's in that slot of 5 as well. He looks good. He's very small, though. He's very small. He'll have to bulk up. In my opinion, if he wants to join the Premier League, because I see him getting shoved off the ball quite a bit. So, yeah, he's about 5'7" or 5'8" as well, so he's quite small as well. But he's very techie. We all know Brazilian players like they're techie. So yeah, us going in for him, I wouldn't mind this, because let's look at our winger depth for next season. So it's the beginning of next season now. We're going to have Mudryk, we signed him. We're going to have Madueke, because we signed him. And I've heard Sterling's meant to be staying. I'd rather Sterling stay over Ziyech and Pulisic. Now, personally, in my opinion, I see Pulisic and Ziyech both leaving in the summer. We're going to make about 50, 60 million off that. You know, maybe 50, 40, actually. I don't know. But that leaves one space for us to, you know, need another winger for backup for Mudryk, or to be competition for Mudryk or Madueke. I'm presuming Sterling will be a backup from the right wing for Madueke, competition from Madueke, because Victor Roque, who I'm about to mention, like I've just mentioned, I think he plays off the left. I'm pretty sure he plays left winger. You can't play a right winger as a left winger, can you? Do you know what I mean? Sterling could do left wing or right wing, but same with Madueke, he could do left wing, right wing, but Mudryk can only do left wing. But I would not be against getting Victor Roque. It would be cheaper than what, you know, the market is nowadays. You know, 20 million for him. And he'd be good competition, very good competition. We need, for us to challenge for a Premier League title, we need strong squad depth and good players there. So, like, say we take Mudryk off and he hasn't had the best game, or he's got injured and he's had a really good game. We bring on Victor Roque and he's a big player. There you go, do you know what I mean? So now let's move on to the manager situation. Agent D says this. This was 2 days ago, by the way, like a couple minutes after I uploaded my last video. So this is what Agent D says. So, I can confirm Vivell has spoken to Nagelsmann and he is very keen on any potential vacancy, I don't know, at Chelsea. Chelsea appreciate him a lot. Potter's next 10 games will be reviewed when the season comes to an end. Enjoy the barbecue, CFC fans. There's something that tells me I think this is very possible. If you told me 2 months ago, before the Nagelsmann thing happened, do you reckon Potter will get sacked from Chelsea? I would have told you, nah. I reckon he'll stay the whole season and he'll probably be there next season. That's what I said. But now this Nagelsmann news is coming out, and it's not just this Agent D. Agent D says it, and then it comes true from like the big boy, you know, sources in a couple days or something after. You know, this looks very possible, and I don't see Tottenham going for him anymore, because I've heard Tottenham are going after Brendan Rodgers now. You know, gives us a free run for Nagelsmann. I'll take it. Well, hopefully, but yeah, so I like the fact that I don't think we're going to sack Potter until the end of the season. I knew that was going to happen, and let's be real, it was going to happen. But I'd rather us do that and keep him to the end of the season and bring Nagelsmann in the summer than sack Potter now, get interim and not be guaranteed Nagelsmann at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather that. And then the next bit of Nagelsmann news as well is from Ruddy Galletti. Not 100% sure who he is, but this is what he's had to say. So, first positive contacts between Julian Nagelsmann and some Chelsea representatives to date. The former Bayern Munich coach is one of Chelsea's main options for this next season. together with Luis Enrique in the event of Graham Potter being sacked. Another name that was mentioned in there was Luis Enrique. I've heard recently Luis Enrique came out and said he'd love to get a job in the Premier League, but there's no jobs with the right project at the moment available. But he wants to be in a project where he can win. He's able to win stuff and stuff like that. Basically, like any project really, but you know. But apparently he follows the Premier League football like really closely. I wouldn't be against Enrique either, but if I had to give my first target, it would be Nagelsmann. Before the Nagelsmann sack, it was Mourinho. Do you know what I mean? But right now it's Nagelsmann. I'd probably say second is Mourinho, and then third would be Enrique. But you know, in both Agent D and that Galletti guy saying, they said representatives were talking to Nagelsmann's side. One name that was mentioned, which I mentioned a couple of days back, saying it's clear and obvious he's talking to him, is Christopher Vivell. Christopher Vivell's clearly pushing for this to happen. He's worked with Nagelsmann before. He knows Nagelsmann's a project manager, and I'm pretty sure he knows Nagelsmann would be the right fit for Chelsea, and I think it would as well. And then the last bit of Nagelsmann news is, if it loads, here we go, from Agent D again, and this literally came out about just before I record this video, literally about a minute before I record this video. So this is what Agent D's had to say. So, Nagelsmann, in love with Chelsea project. Hot talks with Vivell this week about Chelsea's plans for the summer. Vivell believes Nagelsmann's perfect candidate to bring Chelsea back. Keen to have JT, John Terry, involved. Potter's position will be reviewed in June, far from safe. Sorry that I got my words mixed up then, by the way, guys. It happens every so often. So let's go through this. So, in love with the Chelsea project. I'm pretty sure that means Nagelsmann's in love with the Chelsea project, which is good to hear. It sounds like everybody that comes across sounds like they like the Chelsea project. You know what I mean? Like players that join us, or you know, potential managers or something like that. They seem like they like the project. Hot talks with Vivell for plans for the summer. So, like I already said, it's clear and obvious Vivell was the one pushing hard for this. Like I already said, you got Todd Bowley, Iqbali, and then you got Vivell underneath. Vivell can give his opinions, and the owners will you know, hear about it and stuff like that. Plans for the summer, I'm guessing that means Nagelsmann for the summer and who Nagelsmann would want in. I wouldn't want us bringing too many players in, like I've already said. I think all we need now is a striker, a DM, and a backup DM to buy for them players in the summer. That's all we need, really. But if Nagelsmann wants some players out and we bring some players in, that's good. But I don't want to take out players that we've only just recently brought. I still reckon he could do a job with a Koulibaly or a, you know, let's just say, for example, who do we buy in the thingy? Badiashile. I reckon he'd do a great job with Badiashile. I think Badiashile would do well for us. So I don't want too many players signed in the summer. If we do get Nagelsmann in the summer, tell him, look, all we need is a striker, DM, and backup DM. And if you want any more players that were brought from the old regime that haven't just been brought in to go, then let us know and you can bring in yours. But just don't buy too many players, because I don't want us to be on the FFP, man. You know what I mean? Obviously for Vivell, thinking he's the perfect candidate, I've already said that. I think Vivell is the one pushing hard for this again. The next one is Potter's position not being far from safe, which is good to hear, because I think despite the 2 wins, Dortmund one was a big win. Leeds was a scrappy win, wasn't convincing, it was scrappy. The Leicester one was a convincing win, but it was against a team so out of form and so crap. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm happy the ownership is still not 100% on Potter yet. It seems like, so his job's not 100% safe. Will be reviewed in June, so you know that's a good news. That's good news. They're not just going to back him all the way and say, "Oh no, this season's a let off. We'll let you have next season." That's good to hear. And then the next, the big one, JT being involved. As I said a couple vids back, Nagelsmann's idol was John Terry. It was John Terry. You know, I'm pretty sure Nagelsmann would still join Chelsea even if John Terry didn't want to really be involved. I'm pretty sure he would still join Chelsea. In fact, I'm 99% sure he would. But imagine we have Nagelsmann and John Terry as the assistant manager. Nagelsmann will grill people. We know this. We've seen it. You know, but John Terry, you know, people look at Nagelsmann and go, okay, I need to listen to this guy as the manager. But to the players that don't, and they're Chelsea through and through, let's just say Mason Mount, he will listen to John Terry. John Terry's that guy. John Terry is Mr. Chelsea. You know what I mean? He will grill him in that changing room. They will sit down and go, okay. Do you know what I mean? And I think John Terry being involved as an assistant manager, I'd love it. I'd personally love it. But if he didn't want to be involved, I'm not bothered. And I think 99% chance, even if John Terry doesn't be involved, I think Nagelsmann will still join us. So, yeah. So, that's it for today's video, guys. That's all I've got for you guys. Big Nagelsmann news. I said I wasn't going to deliver any Nagelsmann news unless it was, like, you know, like, big ones. And this, it literally just keeps coming out. And I'm actually not going to give any more Nagelsmann news now until, like, something major. Like, you know, he will be appointed in the summer or something like that. Or they're close to appointing him or something. Do you know what I mean? Something big. But, yeah. Hopefully you've all have enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you all think. Also, tomorrow at about 9 o'clock, so 9 PM UK time, I will be uploading my preview to Chelsea Aston Villa. So be there for that. And yeah, hopefully you've all enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and take care. Peace.